Hello students, welcome to Saraswat International Academy. This is the third part of 9th standard mathematics chapter number 1 number system. So we will discuss the more about the this chapter. So let's start the session. Now in previous video we have learned that how we can represent any irrational number on a number line by creating a right angle triangle. So now here is the second method to represent any irrational number or any real number on the number line by a geometrical method. Now this method is very easy. Just you have to draw the diagrams and fulfill the data. You don't have to calculate any other things. So how geometrically we can represent any number line? So here we have taken one example of the previous one, that locate root 3 on the number line. So first of all we required a number line. So I am drawing a number line. Now what we have to do? Step number 1. On a given line, mark the two distance 3 units from a fixed point A on it to obtain point B such that AB equals to 3 units. So what we have to do? We have to make 2 points on this line. First point is A and second point is B, and such that the distance between them is 3 units. So I am making 2 points A and B. So first point is A, second point is B, and distance between them is 3 units. Now second step, what we have to do? Second step, from B point mark a distance of 1 unit and mark the new point as C. Now from point B we have to mark the distance 1 unit and we have to write the new point as C. So I am marking 1 unit distance from the B, which point name is C, and the distance between them is 1 unit. Now what the next step? Step number 3. Okay, find the midpoint of AC and mark that point as O. Now we have to find midpoint of AC. How we can find it? So in previous standard you have learned to make a perpendicular bisector of a line segment. So you have to create a perpendicular bisector of line segment AC only. So you know the method how you can draw the perpendicular bisector. So draw the perpendicular bisector of AC. So you will get a point on line like this, and the point is denoted as O. Now what we have to do? Next step, fourth one, draw a semicircle with center O and radius OC. So as a you can take also OA or OC, both are equal radius. So you have to make a semicircle with center is O and the radius is OC. So now I am drawing a semicircle. We have to draw a semicircle like this. This diagram is done. So now next step, step number 5, draw a perpendicular line to AC passing through B and intersects the semicircle at D. So we have to make a line which is perpendicular to AC passing from B and intersecting the semicircle at D. So now I am drawing again a perpendicular line which intersecting semicircle at D and which is perpendicular to AC. Now next step. Now let us treat the line BC as the number line. Now I am assuming line BC is the number line with B as 0 and C as 1 and so on. So we have to assume let B is equals to 0 value, C equals to 1. Again we have made more points and the value will be 1, 2, 3, 4 up to infinity. Now what we have to do after this? So now step number 7, draw an arc with the center B and radius BD which intersect the number line in point E. Now we have to draw an arc with center B and radius BD. So using a protractor, or you have to draw a arc which intersect line at E. So now I am drawing a arc which is intersect line at point E. Now what will happen? The E point we have defined, derived on this number line, will represent root 3 on the number line. So we can say here E represents root 3 on the number line. So have you got the idea how we can draw? You have the procedure to follow and you can draw anything. Just you have to make which value you have to find on a number line. So in this way you can find any irrational number on the number line. Now next question. Now on our next topic will be discussed. Now we will discuss exercise 1.2. So here we can solve the questions. Now first question is, state whether the following statements are true or false, justifying your answers. You also have to justify it. Now first question, every irrational number is real number. You have to say it is true or false. So it is true. Why? Since collection of real numbers is made up by rational and irrational numbers, we have already learned in the previous video. So you can say this statement is true. Second one, every point on the number line is of the form root m, where m is a natural number. You have to show that every point on a number line is in a form of root m, where m is a natural number. So this statement is false. Why? No negative numbers can be square root of any natural number. So number line contains all numbers, negative and positive numbers. So each point cannot be, so we cannot find square root value of any number which is equals to negative number. So therefore this statement is false. Now the next one, every real number is an irrational number. Every real number is an irrational number. So again we can say this statement is false. Why? For an example, 2 is a real number but it is not irrational. We can say it. So that's why this statement is also false. Now the next question, second one, are the square roots of all positive integers irrational? First question is, are the square roots of all positive number are irrational? If not, give an example of the square root of a number that is a rational number. So first answer is no. It is not true that square root of all positive number are irrational is not true statement. Why? Let for an example, I am taking square root of 4 which is equals to 2. So here 2 is a rational number, not an irrational number. So here we can say 2 is a rational number. So that's why this statement is false for our question. Now next one. The next question is, show how root 5 can be represented on the number line. Again we have to represent root 5 on the number line. So we have learned the method in this video. So I will solve this question by that method. In your digest or another book you have the other method, but this is very easy method. You can very easily solve this question. So first of all, what we have to do, again we have a number line, which is my first step. On a given line, mark the distance. How much unit? 5 units from a fixed point A on it to obtain a point B such that AB equals to 5 units. Now what will be the second step? So first of all we are marking 2 points A and B. First point is A, second point is B, and the distance between them is 5 units. Now what we have to do the second step? The second step, from point B, mark a distance 1 unit and mark that new point as C. So now I will mark a new point on a line which is denoted as C, and the distance between them is 1 unit. Now what we have to do? Third step, find the midpoint of AC and mark that point as O. So we have to find midpoint of BC. Again, you can find midpoint by AC by perpendicular bisector, or you can also find the summation of the distance of AC is 6 units. So midpoint will be at 3 units. So you have to mark a point at 3 units. So by that way you can also find this point. So now we are marking a point O, which is 3 unit distance from point A. Now again we have to draw. What you have to do? Draw a semicircle with center O and radius OC. So now again I am drawing a semicircle whose center is O and the radius is OC. Now what we have to do? Next step, draw a perpendicular line to AC passing through B and intersecting the semicircle at D. So again I am drawing a line BD which is intersecting the semicircle at D. Again next step, now let us again treat point B on line BC as a number line and with B as 0 and C as 1 and so on. So again we have to do, draw an arc with the center B and radius BD which intersect the number line in E. So again I am drawing an arc which is intersecting the number line at point E. Now again this point E will represent root 5. So I can say here E represents the root 5 on the number line. Now next one, real numbers and their decimal expansion. So this topic you have to learn about the real numbers and their decimal expansion. So what we have learned about it? So first one, in this section we will look at the decimal expansions of our real numbers and see if we can use the expansion to distinguish between rationals and irrationals. So since rationals are more familiar to us, we know how we can write a rational number. So let us take three examples: 10 by 3, 7 by 8 and 1 by 7. We will discuss the decimal expansion of these three numbers. So pay special attention to the remainders and the see if you can find any pattern. In this division you have to check the pattern of the remainders. Then you can see how we can distinguish between the rationals and irrationals. So let's start the first example. So my first example is example number 5. Find the decimal expansion of 10 by 3, 7 by 8 and 1 by 7. So for the solution, I am starting with the first number. First of all, we have to divide 10 by 3. Now first number will be 3. So 3 3s are 9. So after subtraction, my remainder will be 1. Now we cannot divide 1 by 3, so we have to take place a decimal point here. So we can carry forward 0 to 1. So now number will become 10. So again we can multiply by 3. So again it will become 9. So again remainder will be 1. Again 0 taking carry forward. So again it will become 10. Again we have multiplied by number is 3. So my number will become 9. So my answer will become 1. Again next 0 taking carry forward, it will become 9. So again remainder will be 1. So what you have seen here, one common pattern of remainders. It is 1 1 1 1 1 up to infinite times. And what is your divisor? Your divisor is 3. So you have seen the pattern that 1 1 1 1 1 is coming infinite time. So this division will go to infinite steps. Now again the second one we have to divide 7 by 8. So now we can not divide 7 directly by 8. So we have to point 0 and the decimal point. So we can take carry forward 0 from up. Now 70 can be divided by 8. So we have the first number 8 8s are 64. So after subtracting I will get my remainder. Remainder will be 6. Again 0 can be carry forwarded. So now I have number 60. So 60 can be divisible by 8. So it can be 7. So it will become 56. Now remainder will be 4. Again we can carry forward at 0. So now we can multiply the number by 5. So again we will get 40. So my remainder will become 0. So now from this step this division will not go further. So this is my end step of the division. So in this step you have seen that remainders are 6, 4 and 0 and my divisor is 8. Now looking for the third one, the third division is we have to divide 1 by 7. So again we cannot directly divide 1 by 7, so we have to place and 0 and the decimal point. So okay, we can take carry forward 0 from it. So now 10 can be divisible by 7, so it will be 7 ones are 7. So now my remainder will become 3. Next taking 0 carry forwarded, so it will become 30. So now 30 can be divisible, so 7 4s are 28. So now again remainder will be 2. Again 0 carry forwarded, now 7 2s are 14. Now remainder will be 6. Again 0 carry forwarded, now 7 8s are 56. So now again remainder will be 4. Again 0 carry forwarded, now 7 5s are 35. So now remainder will become 5. So now 0 carry forwarded, 7 7s are 49. So now remainder is 1. So what you have seen that from where our question is started, we have already reached at that point. Now again if 0 carry forwarded, it will become 10, which is my first step. So this number will regularly give the pattern. So this division will be go again infinite times. So now what you have seen in this question, you have seen that remainders will be infinite time in a pattern, that 3 2 6 4 5 1, again 3 2 6 4 5 1, again 3 2 6 4 5 1, and that will be go for the infinite times. So in this question my divisor is 7. So in this type 3 division you have seen the remainder pattern. So let's discuss what you have observed in these three questions. So let's discuss it. Okay, now what you have noticed in the previous question? You should have noticed at least 3 things in the previous question. Okay. The first one, the remainders either become 0 after a certain stage. You have seen in the second example that and or starts repeating themselves. You have seen the two types of pattern. First pattern is remainder either becomes 0 after a certain stage or start repeating themselves. Second step, the number of entries in the repeating string of remainder is less than the divisor. You have seen that the repeating strings of the remainder is less than the divisor. And let in the first question 1 by 3, one number is repeated itself and the divisor is 3. 1 is repeated and the divisor is 3. And in 1 by 7 you have already noticed there are the 6 entries, 3, 2, 6, 4, 5, 1, and which are repeating strings of the remainders, and my divisor is 7. So you can see all numbers are less than 7. What will be the next one? The third one, if you remainders repeated, then we get representing a block of the digits. So what we have in the quotients? So what will happen in the quotient? We will also got the repeating blocks of the digits on the quotient also. So like for the example 1 by 3, 3 is the repeated in the quotients. You can see in the previous question. So in for 1 by 7 we got the repeated blocks 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7 in the quotients. So what do you have to notice about it? So this is the important way to represent any rational number by its decimal expansion. So let's discuss it. So all through we have noticed this pattern using only the examples above. It is true for all rational form of p by q where q is not equal to 0. So you can divide all rational numbers by it and you can find this kind of pattern. So what you have to do on division of p by q, two main things happens. First, either the remainder becomes 0 or never becomes 0, and we get a repeating strings of remainders. These two things will be happen. So case number 1 we have discussed, the remainder becomes 0. What will happen if remainders become 0? So we have already seen that the decimal expansion of 7 by 8 is equal to 0.875. You can take more two examples. I am writing the other examples. Like if I have to write 1 by 2, it can be written as 0.5, or 639 divided by 250 can be written as 2.556. So what will you have seen in the all these cases, the decimal expansion terminates or ends after a finite number of steps or certain number of steps. You have seen the decimal expansion is terminates. So this we call this type of decimal expansion is terminating decimal expansion. This expansion will be denoted as terminating decimal expansion. This is your first case. Now next case. Now case number 2, the remainders never becomes 0. So what will happen in this case? Now for an example, we have seen 1 by 3 can be written as 0.333 up to infinite, and 1 by 7 can be written as 0.142857, 142857, 142857 up to infinite times. So the usual way on the showing that 3 repeats the in the quotient of 1 by 3. What we have seen that the 3 is repeating in the quotient 1 by 3. So we have one pattern to show this kind of numbers. So we can write this number in as a 0.3 bar. We have to write a bar on the number which is repeating. So 0.3333 can be written as 0.3 bar. Similarly, since the block of digits 142857 repeats in the quotient of 1 by 7, so we can write 1 by 7 as 0.142857 bar. Here you can see 142857 is a repeating block, so we have to write it by 0.142857, and you have to make a bar on the repeating numbers. So you can write the number. So what you can see, where the bar above the digits indicates the block of digits that are repeats. So here you can see the numbers, if digits are repeated, we have to draw a bar on it. So all these examples gives us non-terminating, recurring or repeating decimal expansion. So this type of decimal expansion will give us non-terminating because it will go to the infinite and reoccurring or repeating. We have got the repeating digits. So these numbers, these examples are called non-terminating recurring example. So you have learned about how you can represent or divide any rational number, and you can find the pattern about its decimal expansion. So in next video we will discuss about the decimal expansion of irrational number and more pattern to represent any rational number by decimal expansion and the reverse process of decimal expansion to the rational number. Thank you for watching this video.